once a Panther, always a Panther. So Panther Pride, definitely. Some things I want to talk to you today. When Mr. Irvin asked me to come talk to you, I'm trying to think. I'm like, okay, let me put myself in the middle schooler's mindset and try to identify with some of the things you all go through. Of course, at this age, everybody's giving their opinion, telling you to do, but sometimes you kind of feel like people are not really worried about what you're going through and your personal struggles and everything. So I want to talk about change, y'all. During these years, you will go through a lot of change, a great amount of change. You will change schools multiple times in a few years. You go from elementary school, you come here, you get comfortable. As soon as you're a big man on campus, it's time to leave again and go to high school and start all over again. So I know how that goes. I've been through it myself. You will see changes in your body, in your personality, you grow up. Different TV shows that you used to watch, it's not cool anymore, you don't like those, you move on to different things, and you kind of outgrow things that you liked before. You see changes in your social groups and the type of environments you feel comfortable in. Like I said, you might have had the last birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. Next year, you don't want to go there. You want to go to Laser Tag or something like that. You want to kind of grow up. We're going to have a paintball birthday party instead of what we used to. So, of course, y'all are going to be evolving. Y'all are going to be growing. You never want to stop going through change. So I want to keep that in mind. So when I was in middle school, let's put it in perspective. Hobbit, I saw that up there. Hunger Games, that wasn't out. Toy Story might have been out. Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't out. The first Harry Potter movie came out when I was in middle school. The first Shrek movie came out when I was in middle school. Planet of the Apes, The Lord of the Rings. These movies have, number 2 and 3 and 4, and they're making movies on top of the movies, The Hobbit and everything, so it's been a long time since I've been in middle school. Another fun fact, 9/11 happened, the original 9/11, 2001, when the World Trade Center was knocked down. I was in middle school when that happened, so that was a long time. The iPod, y'all remember the iPod? Not the iPhone 6 and 7 and 8, the original iPod, where you can't do nothing but listen to music. That came out when I was in middle school. Anybody have an Xbox? Who got an Xbox? Who got a PlayStation? What's your favorite? Xbox or PlayStation? Alright, everybody PlayStation, raise your hand. Alright, Xbox. Wii. Okay, the first Xbox and PlayStation, the first ones, they had the wires on the controller and everything. We didn't have wires on the controllers. The first Xbox and PlayStation was released when I was in middle school. What else? American Idol. This last season, I think this is the last season of American Idol, right? It's kind of sad, right? American Idol's not going to come on anymore. So the first American Idol season, I was in middle school. So that kind of tells you how long it's been. These days, I can get on my phone, and I can go to Google, and I can type up anything, and I can ask Siri for directions, and she helped me get lost. When I was in middle school, correct me if I'm wrong, we had the dial-up internet. So I don't know, you ask your parents what dial-up internet connection is. You had to call the internet to let them get you on Facebook and everything like that. So it took me longer than expected. So that's some perspective. A lot has changed since then. Since I was in middle school, a lot's gonna change from the time y'all get to college and come back and walk in this building and be like, man, I've been through a lot of change. And guys I look up to, I see him whenever he's little, now he's up to my shoulder and push me around a little bit, So let's talk about change a little bit more. Change scares people, man. People don't like change. Anybody can give me a reason why change is uncomfortable? Anybody have any idea? Alright, one thing I put down, fear of the unknown. Like I'm about to go to 9th grade, I don't know who this teacher is, I've never heard, I've never had this class before, I've never had this subject before, I don't know what I'm about to go into. So of course, my first natural reaction is to get nervous and to get intimidated because I don't know what's going on. Fear of the unknown. What if I make a mistake? What if it's worse than what I have now? What if I fail? And that's what a lot of people think when they're going into a new situation. You doubt yourself. We tend to doubt ourselves and second guess ourselves too often. Especially when it's something that we feel is important or we're doing it for the first time, we end up putting too much pressure on ourselves. I remember the first time I took Spanish. It might have been in this school right here, I was taking Spanish. And when you get to college, I took Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. Everything is in Spanish. They don't say, take out your notebooks. When they address you, when you walk into class, all you hear is expected. So I'm in that class, I'm getting intimidated. I'm seeing kids who are a little more advanced than me and everything like that. So it's always something that you might feel discouraged, but there's never nothing that you can handle or you can adapt to, you know. So what else will change? We tend to isolate ourselves and agonize over decisions. Sometimes you can't find a simple solution, like, oh, I have about to go on my first banquet or something. One day you might get to go to prom. But ladies, I know you're gonna have you might have trouble picking out the color you want to wear. I know today, I was kind of nervous. I'm like, what am I gonna wear to talk to these young men and young women today? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was like, should I put on the suit? Should I put on my football jersey? Should I bring the football? I was like, maybe I should more relate to them and come more casual like that. So of course, you know, I could have isolated myself and got behind the wall. Like, oh, I don't know what to wear, I don't know what to do. And of course, you start to agonize over things that when you just break it down and you focus on it, it's not as big as the deal that sometimes we make it to be, you know, and we put stress on ourselves. Number 4, sometimes we ask everybody else's opinions other than ourselves because we don't want to be the one to kind of let ourselves down. You know, well, I don't know what to wear, I'm going to ask you, or I don't know which movie to watch. I'm going to ask everybody which movie they like, and then if I don't like the movie, then I'm going to blame it on you because I didn't use it. Sometimes we do that, but of course, with change, you just got to be confident in your movements. Sometimes we forget that we have options and we focus on the external world. That's why I want to talk to y'all, especially during this age. You got people, when I was young, I used to get nervous and like, oh, what am I going to school? What am I going to do this? They didn't have, what are those? People didn't know what I couldn't imagine somebody telling me what are those. I'd just be heartbroken, you know? So sometimes you kind of gotta look out for these people. Okay, one thing that always you gotta remember, change never stops. Change is always going to be occurring. Sometimes things can change for the better, sometimes things can change for the worse. But one thing I want y'all to always understand that if something happens to me and I go through a change that is not good, I should understand that things might change again. And I was talking to him a little bit a while ago. Young Marcus might know, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, you know. If you ever heard, y'all might be a little young, I heard Hurricane Katrina, right? Yeah. All right, that hurricane, I was there during the whole hurricane. I watched it out my window. I seen the water come up. Me and my family had to evacuate ourselves and go to the shelter. I had to sleep on the floor, on the plane, and all kind of things. They brought us to Siloam Springs, Arkansas. We're getting on y'all seen Dumbo before? Y'all remember that movie Dumbo? Yeah. Y'all know a big old cargo plane? We was on a big old cargo plane with no seats on it. We got on the plane. Everybody was walking, getting on the plane. We're going through change right now. This is change. Everybody walking through the plane and see me over there. I'm over here looking like, I'm telling my mom, me, my mom, and my younger sister. And I'm telling my mom, I'm the only one out of 1,000 people to ask the soldier. I'm like, man, does anybody know where this plane is going? Everybody's getting on the plane, everybody's asking where we're going. She tells me Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. Anybody know what Fort Chaffee, Arkansas is? I think it's an army base up there, Fort Smith. So that's some words I have never heard before. Coming from where I come from, I didn't even know the states were outside of me on the map because in a big city like I was living in, you're so caught up in where you at, you don't even think about what's around you, you know? So when they told me I'm like, get on the plane and come to Arkansas, that was the biggest fear I could ever, that's the worst thing I could ever heard because it was change, it was fear of the unknown. I didn't know where I was about to go. So of course, how could I get up and be willing to change like that and not know where I'm going to? Pretty much blindfolded, you know? If you just look at the story, I don't want to drag it out too long, but I came to Arkansas, they took us in, I know the Battle Assembly Ground, I think it's Camp Siloam now. We were living in Camp Siloam for a couple of weeks and everything. So we was living there, people was coming down, telling us stories, they were helping us, just bringing us food. Coach Ross, some of the coaches came down and talked to us and everything, got assigned in football. And you look up, and long story short, 2 years later removed from that, I'm able to go to college. I'm able to get a scholarship to play football, something that I love and something that I don't know if I would have been able to do if I was at home, you know? So I did all these things. Right now I'm playing arena football, and all of these things have happened because of the change that I went through, that I was scared to go through, that I was asking her later. I'm like, people know what's playing going and everything, so I was like, I'm not sure if I want to make these changes, but sometimes you can't be afraid to make change because you never know what God has in plan. What God has in store for you. Another thing I want to talk to y'all about, I think I mixed up, not being good enough. Like she said, young lady, she said about being in football, about being an athlete. Even at this late age right now, I'm 26, I'm about to go into my 3rd season as a professional athlete, so I'm getting paid to play the sport that I love. Even at this moment, sometimes I step on the field and we had a game, we played when LeBron James was in the arena. So I'm in the locker room, I might even be in LeBron James' locker, you know? I'm in the arena where he plays, he puts the dust on his hands and throws it up. So I'm looking like, I can't even imagine what's going on right now. You know, I'm playing when LeBron James plays at, oh my God. It's easy to get nervous right there, you know? It's easy to get nervous and I gotta kind of step back and think, am I good enough? All these guys played at Arkansas and LSU, these big schools. I went to Arkansas Tech, so I'm looking like I might be out of my weight class a little bit, you know? So, like I said, being in athletics, every time I step on the field, in the back of my mind, it's like, am I ready? Am I good enough? When I was in middle school, I would think if I was good enough to go to school that day. Am I dressed good enough to go to school today? Are they gonna make fun of me? Am I smart enough to raise my hand and answer the question in front of the class? Anybody get nervous sometimes? They be like, oh, well, raise your hand and come on the board and do this. And like, I don't want to come on the board. I don't know what this is. Sometimes you get nervous, you know, like, I don't want to be wrong in front of everybody. That's some things you go through, you know. I used to study for, anybody ever have this happen? You study for a test, you study all week, they put the test in front of you, and then you forget everything that you just studied. What? I just went over this 5 minutes ago. How could I have forgot already? I just put my study guide down. I don't understand what's going on, you know? Encore. Y'all know Encore? They still got Encore? Y'all have Encore? That's only high school? Oh my goodness. I used to be in Encore sometimes. So, but yeah, I'm happy with Encore, which is probably going on right now. And my friends out there having lunch, socializing and everything. These are the things that make me look at myself and be like, man, am I good enough? Because I don't know right now, you know? And when you think like that, one of the scriptures I wrote down, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Anybody ever heard that before? Y'all ever heard somebody say that in the Now that should let you know that no matter what the task is, no matter what I'm going through, whether or not I'm playing the game and I got a lineman trying to get past me, or if I'm doing the test and I gotta get all the answers right, or I'm not gonna pass it, you gotta think, of course, in preparation, God's not gonna be like, oh, when you pray, so I'm gonna give you an 8. Now you gotta prepare and everything, you gotta do the things you can to make yourself better and everything, but in the back of your mind, you should always be thinking, if Christ says I can do this, you know, I have his strength, I can do anything that I need to do, you know. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's something I always think about when I'm on the football field. If I can't do this, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, so I can do anything I need to do.